Is Virgil van Dijk one of the top 5 centre-backs in the league at the moment? Can Barcelona win La Liga, or will it be a tight affair? Are Real Madrid going to come back under Solari? Can PSG go the whole season unbeaten? We're going to answer these questions on Hope Meets Banter. Hello and welcome to Hope Meets Banter. It's me, Devo. We are joined by a special guest. We have Neeks of Neek Sports, and we have these guys who you already know. We're going to go straight in, and the first question that we're going to go ahead and do is about Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk has obviously changed the fortunes of Liverpool's defence. They were shambolic before; they're now quite good.
We're decent.
Yeah, they're quite good. Quite good. So what we want to know is, where do you rank Virgil van Dijk amongst the very best defenders in the world? I'm going to come to our guests first.
Okay. First thing I want to say, he said he has transformed the Liverpool defence. And I would have had agreed with that sentiment, especially prior to the start of the season, and even maybe after the first few games. But 12 games into the season, this is not the same Liverpool as last year. So I'm starting to question whether it's Van Dijk making Liverpool as defensively good as they are. Not that he hasn't made them better, but making them as defensively good as they are. Or has Klopp just changed his approach and Liverpool changed their approach the way they approaching games? They're not scoring as many goals. They're not attacking in the same way that they were last season. And I would say that the team is just a bit more defensively, and for me, better, because defense was their main issue. I think they're just a bit more defensive than they were last year. Some of that down to Van Dijk, but some of it you have to give credit to Klopp. So that's the first thing I'll say. It's not all down to him. I think you have to talk about him as a top 5 in the world.
Damn straight. That's right.
But I wouldn't put him in the top 5. You talk about him, you discuss him, but I wouldn't put him in the top 5.
Ooh, Matt.
I wouldn't.
Okay. No. I like how
I see the look on your face there. You got something to say. Go.
Yeah. Let me reply, bro. Let me reply. No. All jokes aside, I think, listen, I get what you're saying about it's a different Liverpool. That I agree with. But I think you got to think about what he done also when he came in to Liverpool in January as well. And I think that whole transformation, even especially last season, it was a massive difference. You got to understand. He's playing with Dejan Lovren. Listen, I love Dejan Lovren. Yeah, I think he's a great guy.
He loves himself as well.
I don't know him personally, but let's be real. He ain't one of the best defenders in the world, like he said. So
that's what I was going to say. You got Van Dijk keeping man like Lovren on the bench.
In check. He's keeping Lovren in check, that's for starters. Obviously, he's playing with Matip as well. There was a lot of chopping and a lot of changing last season, and I think Van Dijk has settled our defence. Coming towards this season as well, I think a lot of it has to be Joe Gomez as well. So as much as I think Van Dijk takes a lot of plaudits, I think Joe Gomez as well, their partnership is really something that I wasn't even expecting. But for me personally, he's got to be in the conversation because if I'm not mistaken, you might have to double check this stat. Since Van Dijk has come into Liverpool, we have only conceded 14 goals, bro. 14.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken as well, I think at home, only the other day was the first time we conceded in months. So I think a lot of that has to do with Van Dijk. I think he's improved people alongside him, and I think confidence he's brought with him.
Yeah, definitely.
You get what I'm saying? Because even the goalkeeper, we just look more assured.
I mean, it's a different goalkeeper to last.
It is. 100%.
Thankfully for you guys.
Yeah, thankfully for us.
So,
yeah.
Havo, what are your? Because I know you've had a little bit to say about Van Dijk.
Yeah.
No, we'll come to you now.
Basically, look, I mean, everyone knows that the official football rankings in the world come from the Harvard Football Hall, which is of course is Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Chief Oga, which is the main one. He's Tier 2. I think I had him in Tier 3 before because I said, look, man, I need you to give me a season. I don't think I can put him in the same I can put him in the same category as a Godin or a Koulibaly. I think Godin, Koulibaly, I think they're out and out the best of defenders out there. I think for Van Dijk, they are, look, man, it's breathing only once.
We're going to come to that afterwards.
I just want to ask you one quick question. This is your floor, though.
Okay.
What separates Koulibaly from Van Dijk? And correct me if I'm wrong, what has Koulibaly won at Napoli?
Koulibaly has been playing at a very high level for the past, I would say, at least 3 years. He's done it in the Serie A and in the Champions League as well. I've not yet seen Van Dijk for at least 3 years play at a high level. Koulibaly has played at a high level and he has been regarded as a top defender for at least the last 3 years for Napoli in Serie A and in the Champions League as well, and in Senegal as well, because I've been watching Senegal in Nations Cups as well. He's been top. So I think to put Van Dijk in the same category, no, you have to have done this for about 3 years, where you've been a top defender for at least
Plus,
2 or 3 years.
Van Dijk's never thrown his own teammate in front of a player.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was hilarious.
No, I saw that.
Yeah,
Tackle him, man.
Ruiz, that's
Push
Ruiz,
man
that's
like,
Ruiz.
fam, if you're gonna do something, just
Yeah.
move it there. innit?
But let's put it. No. I mean, Van Dijk is basically he's the modern defender. Like, he has improved Liverpool. You can say, okay, it's because of how Liverpool have changed their football, so they're more defensive minded, which benefits the defenders. But still, his reading of the game, his calmness, his composure, and it's like, even if I don't like to use this, when you're coming clutch, that's huge. And I'm sorry, like, that's goal he scored for Holland against Germany the last minute.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's your captain, and as a defender, and also. Did people see the sheets of paper?
Yeah,
Basically, Koeman actually had Van Dijk as a striker in the last 5 minutes, so that's great. But I think let's see what he does. Let's see where he's at the end of the season, and let's just see fully.
Yeah, go for it.
Because obviously you've said Koulibaly because of what he done the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And for me, I like the way you've judged that, because you're saying no matter what their kind of ability is or what, you have to kind of prove it on the pitch. But are you not taking his ability that you've seen during his time at Liverpool or during his time at Southampton? Because granted, he wasn't playing in the Champions League, but he was playing in the same division, which is a division that most would say, you might not agree, I don't know, most would say is higher than that of Serie A. But he was playing in Serie A, in the Premier League. At Celtic, I believe he would have played in the Champions League for some years.
Yeah.
Would you not have seen enough in terms of his ability, his reading of the game, his on the ball, in the air, etc., to say that the fact that he hasn't played 3 years in the Champions League, you should be able to judge him accordingly? In terms of ability, I don't see what Koulibaly's got more than what Van Dijk's got.
That's exactly what I
No, for me.
Pace, strength.
No, for me, I feel that Koulibaly's consistent reading of the game is better. I think Koulibaly is better on the ball, bringing the ball out of the ball, and I believe that his that's what I feel.
Okay, all right.
And I feel like him, like aerially as well. I just think that there is more assurance I have in Koulibaly than I do in Van Dijk. And also remember,
I get it. Koulibaly for president.
No.
All right, so I'm going to ask you guys a question now. I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you guys to name me your top 5 centre backs in the world currently, right now, in order.
In order.
Who wants to go first?
We've got to think about it.
I'll go first. You got to be off the cuff, bro.
Okay, go off the cuff. You should be able to think about it.
In order: Varane, Godin, Sergio Ramos.
I'm glad you said that.
Oh, who's the Van Dijk, then Koulibaly.
Wow.
Varane,
Yeah.
Godin, Sergio Ramos, we agree.
Jeez, my guy.
Alderweireld, Aspilicueta, Van Dijk, Koulibaly. But that's 7.
That's
But
7.
I'm just saying Van Dijk for me in terms of he's
Wow.
6th.
Okay.
He's sick. Okay.
All right, for me, number 1. So is this just pretty central defenders or just
Central defenders. Central defenders.
Central defenders. I'll say Godin, Varane. No. You know what? I'll say Godin, Varane, Koulibaly, Sergio Ramos, Aspilicueta, Van Dijk.
No Chiellini. No one.
No, I thought about Chiellini.
I did as well.
Chiellini is balling.
I'll tell you why. Because as good as him and Bonucci are as a partnership, and I think the Juventus machine, and we'll probably get onto them a bit later, the machine is something else. But I've seen him exposed against Tottenham.
Like Chiellini as of now.
But he came back from that.
When Fellaini came on in that game, for example, I've seen him exposed. I say he's not the same as he used to be.
Yeah, but when Fellaini comes on, you got to worry about them
the
elbows.
Euros as well. I mean,
I think he looked better as well when they had 3 at the
Fellaini,
back. So
when he took his hair off.
Yeah, but even before Bonucci, because obviously Bonucci left last season and he come back.
yeah.
But remember when it was Chiellini, Bonucci, and Barzagli?
Yeah.
That's when I say Chiellini was at his best. But then when Bonucci left, obviously they still have Barzagli. I feel like his level dropped a bit, and I don't know if he's gone back because he's getting older now as well.
Yeah, but I think he's in the conversation. No one even mentioned him. That's all I'm saying.
No.
I would have put Alderweireld in there though.
I think
because he's dropped off in my.
Well, it's the injuries.
But has he dropped in terms of his ability when he plays? Has he dropped off? I
No,
don't
he's still
know.
doing. He's still doing
I
bits.
still don't
but
think it's the same.
No,
he
but-
was left out.
Basically,
For an injury.
my thing with Chiellini is like, for me, Chiellini for me was perhaps, in my opinion, like the best defender, like maybe 3-4 years ago. But I think like he's definitely getting older. Like he's still top, but when you just see the best defenders, which is as the points you made, remove the system. How good are you just as a defender in and of itself? Can you just defend? I just think like Chiellini benefits from how well that system and how good that system is. So let's say puts Chiellini like at United right now. I don't really know whether he will transform that team, but let's say you put in a Varane or a Koulibaly in United right now. I think by themselves they will transform that team. So
Okay, so let's move on to our next subject. Our next subject is Barcelona and La Liga. Barcelona lost their last game to Betis. They
4-3,
let in
innit?
4 goals at the new camp, which is crazy. The league is very tight as it stands.
Yeah.
So my question to you: could this be the tightest title race we've seen since that famous Atletico Madrid victory, where I believe they won it was the last game of the season?
Yeah.
Now there's about 4 points that separate about 5 or 6 teams in the Liga at the moment. Do we think it's going to be that way to the end, or will Barcelona pull away eventually? I'll come to you, have hope first.
I mean, this is. I mean, you would say that okay, outside give it 6 games, Barcelona will pretty much go away. But something feels very different about this season amongst other seasons, because this is the first season where Barcelona do not have either Xavi and Iniesta. Messi is great. For me, I say greatest club football player of all time. You're seeing how important Iniesta and Xavi were both to the team. Even when Xavi left, you still saw the hole, but Iniesta was so good, he still filled the hole. Now, with Iniesta and Xavi both gone, something is really missing from this team that's really made the hell things down. And I think that the defense is horrible. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's been horrible for years.
Yeah.
Like Dembele is a gaming addict. So there's so many different things happening, and I just think that I've always said that La Liga technically is the best league in the world. Top to bottom is the best league in the world for quality, and I think that in Atletico, Alaves, in all
Sevilla.
in Sevilla, so a bit there are a lot of really good. And I think the way that Barcelona have sort of just been taken out at the new camp, everybody is smelling blood. So I do feel that, again, maybe I'll be wrong, but I do feel like I think this season could be one of the most exciting La Liga seasons ever, because Barcelona are not the same as they were before.
So I'll ask another question now. Do we think there could possibly be a new name on the trophy at the end of the season? I mean, obviously Atletico won it a few years ago, but maybe Sevilla?
No,
No?
I can't see it. I would love.
Wow.
Oh no, I can't see it. I can't see it.
Man, writ off
Because-
early. You guys, nah, bro.
Didn't even let me finish the question. Stop it right there. Nope.
There's 3 powerhouses in
Yeah.
La Liga, and you could even separate that into 2 and then 1 when it comes to Real Madrid, Barcelona, and then Atletico Madrid. But for me, over a 38 game period, those teams can compete, for a period of time. But I think we even saw, was it last season? Or was it the season before, where Real Madrid was struggling even to get into top 4?
Yeah.
We know that Zidane's going to lose his job if he doesn't win the Champions League. But then it's just in the end, the quality just sees them through, and the pressure gets to those smaller teams. So Alaves definitely can't see them staying up there.
Yeah.
Sevilla, they could hang around the 4th position, but I think especially with Real Madrid, they got the new manager
Solari, yep.
They're what? They're 6th at the moment.
No.
flying.
It's only
They're-
4 points. So what I'm saying is they're gonna go for me. They're gonna
They're
go
on a run.
past Sevilla. They're gonna go past our
Yeah,
Alaves
they've got
and
too
that kind
much
of
in the
stuff.
locker, I think.
I would love Atletico to win it,
Yeah.
and I think they have probably got the best chance of dethroning Barcelona for that position. And the reason why I want Atletico to win it, not only are they the underdogs, but I think I like the what's his name, Simeone's belief about kind of defense first. I'm not saying I'm a defensive manager, but it's about keeping it solid at the back, because only one goal can win it, and that method gets a lot of stick in football nowadays, but they've stuck to it regardless, and success has
And the
come.
thing is, when they do it, it's not unattractive.
It's not.
He does it
No,
in a
no,
way
no,
that's
no,
actually
it's-
quite,
it's
very good to
quite
watch it.
attractive.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Also, Diego Simeone is forever. I'll forever rate him for the way that he just tried to walk on the pitch and argue with Varane mid-game in the Champions League. He's like, okay, I'm saying something. Just bopped on the pitch.
Yeah.
No. Look, the guys from
Gangster.
the drug cartel. Anybody? No, if you dress all in black like that, you're a drug cartel.
That's some Narcos, blood.
Yeah, no, he's Narcos, man.
Maybe he
Narcos
just
Argentina.
listens to techno. Right, I'm going to come to you now about Solari. Real Madrid have turned it around. Their form has picked up. Do you think they could actually go ahead and actually challenge for the title and maybe win it under Solari on his first season?
Marcelo is top 3. Just want to throw that in there.
I don't think they can win it, but I think they'll they'll get close to Barca. Because the thing is, I think there's only 4 points in it. I think
4 points.
Yeah.
they're
4
on
points.
20.
Yeah.
I think Barca on 24. Now, obviously, the gap isn't that big. They have got. The thing is, Real Madrid's squad is still quality, but I have to say, and people might not like it, but without Ronaldo,
They're lacking.
They're
They ain't got that star
They haven't-
man.
exactly.
They've got a lot of quality players, but
Yeah,
that
but they haven't
star-
got that one guy,
star
and
does.
regardless of whether you hate Ronaldo, you like him or love him, he's still a quality player. And the thing is, they didn't even replace him. But that's
Yeah,
the
no,
thing,
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. That's
The
messed
thing,
up.
you can't-
They signed
even
Mariano.
if you don't even from Leon, bro, he was their player from before.
From no. He's
You
not
know
from
what I'm
Leon.
saying?
He's from the road. They got him from the side of the road. So,
But the road was in Madrid because they knew him from before.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can't do
I
that.
remember I used to work with a Real Madrid fan, and when they signed Bale all those years ago,
Yeah.
and obviously Ronaldo was always making noise about he's going to leave, and it was like, we don't need Ronaldo, we've got Bale. Especially when Bale scored in the Champions League final.
Everyone got.
But now Bale ain't Bale supposed to be that Ronaldo.
yeah,
He's supposed
And
to replace
listen, I remember
Ronaldo,
you
innit?
saying to me, we was having a conversation a couple of weeks ago actually,
Yeah.
and you were like, "No, I think Bale's gonna take over that mantle," and I was like, "Bale has the quality, yeah, but I don't know if he has the same mindset because this is the thing about football. It's not just about physical.
Ronaldo-
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
about mental, and I
the
think
mental.
because Ronaldo's that kind of selfish in a sense of I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I don't really
He
care
wants
if
to
he'll
be the
do it.
best, yeah.
Whereas Bale is more. Everything needs to be perfect for him to perform. He gets one little niggle. Oh no, I can't play. Like, where is he now? Is he actually?
No, I
playing?
think he's fit. He played for Wales.
Did he
didn't
play for Wales?
I think
He
he
did,
played for
yeah,
Wales.
yeah.
I remember in the last call up, he went there or something, and he
Yeah,
came
he
back
did.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
and
yeah.
He's always got these little niggles. So to address it, I think Real Madrid will get close, but I don't think they'll.
I think he's got like
They don't have enough.
2/3 of a
enough,
hamstring.
yeah.
Or something.
And they got Benzema up front, and I'm sorry if you've got this guy. up front,
Forget that guy.
Bruv,
Forget that guy.
as
No,
you
no,
said, he's
no.
a prick, innit? He's a prick.
Now it depends. Like,
Put some respect on Benzema. He's done his bit for a career. He's done his bit. He's not the same guy now, but when he was at Lyon,
When he was at Lyon, he was a problem.
and even remember his first few years at Real Madrid when it was him and Higuain, and they were both
was
buying
way
positions.
back
I'm just
when.
saying, innit? Put some respect.
No,
Just because a man's fallen off.
No, but
Brick is rude enough.
bro, he's off the cliff. God, he's hanging on. You see Mission Impossible, the new one? He's hanging on, bro. Bro, he's like that, bro. He's hanging on.
man.
He's
Okay.
lucky that man ain't cut the cord. I'm telling you, bro.
put some respect on one of my greatest bricks of all time, which is Karim Benzema. Don't ever take him out of my loyal academy. Thank you very much.
But
No, but very quickly, just
Last
on
one, go
these
on.
points. If Real Madrid can do something in January, I think that is key of where they need someone in January.
Well,
if they could get someone in January,
that
they can
takes me on to my next point.
segue.
They have been segue, beautiful. They have been heavily linked with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford.
Whoa!
and
What?
wait. They've been linked with a 90 million swoop for Rashford and Eriksen in January. Apparently 50 million for Rashford, 40 million for Eriksen. Is that realistic? Can that happen? Nix, I'll come to you.
What I'll say is, even if doesn't get those two, that's not enough to win the league because Eriksen, as good as a player as he is, and Rashford, as talented as he has shown, neither of them are elite level when you're competing against the likes of Griezmann, Costa, Messi, Suarez, even though he's not the same player that he used to be. Rashford, for me, it's a lot of paper talk. It's a lot of paper talk. Rashford ain't going nowhere. Listen, you heard it here. Hope Meets Banter featuring Neat Sports. Rashford is going nowhere. Homegrown Manchester.
Wait.
born
Based
and-
on
I
what?
thought
Based
he
on
was gonna
what?
say he's
though?
going home.
I was
That's
gonna
it.
say-
Wait.
Based on what?
Based on what that he's not leading. Based on what do you remember? I don't even. You cannot make a
This.
blanket statement like
The
that.
eye test. I've seen him and he loves Manchester.
No, but let me
You can't say
he's
that.
not-
No, but Nick,
This is Real Madrid. Real
don't
Madrid
care.
are a
I
bigger
don't
club
care.
than United.
No.
So if Real Madrid come,
they're the biggest club in the world.
yeah, but if Real Madrid come calling, he's gonna go. He can't just say he's gonna just stay.
Well, it depends,
First of all,
it
him,
depends, there's
him
a lot.
going and
does
us
depend.
selling, or him wanting to go and us selling, it's two different things. De Gea's wanted to go since 2013, and 2018 he's still here.
Fax machine.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. We didn't want him to go in it.
So what do you think? Eriksen at Real Madrid. Do you reckon that would be a good fit?
Real Madrid. What Real Madrid need is a striker. Like, even if Modric is getting old, Toni Kroos has always been a midfielder who needs a real midfielder next to him. Kroos can't really hold the midfield by himself, but it's fine. Asensio is fine. Isco is what Eriksen would be, Isco is fine. What Real Madrid are missing is basically they're missing. You put Aguero or Icardi in that team. The problems are solved because they create opportunities, they create chances. But when you got a brick as your striker, what can you
It
do?
seems almost too good a fit for Icardi not to be a Real Madrid player already. it's like it just makes sense. Why is he not there already?
Icardi's a quality player,
Yeah.
man. Like the thing is, as you said, they need a striker, and if it's not a striker, a wing forward though that's got that X factor.
Yeah.
Eden Hazard is perfect. I think
Hazard.
if
That's
they-
the thing. Hazard.
Obviously, I can't see Hazard going in.
No.
January.
No,
That would
God.
be a
It's a
summer
goal.
move.
Yeah.
But let's say that we'll jump to summer and they get Hazard. That for me is a big move by Real Madrid. They need someone like
But
that.
for me, even if they got Hazard, they will still need a striker.
They still need.
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
They need a
100%.
striker.
But and good and Icardi's a brilliant player. Is he a Galactico?
I don't think they need a Galactico.
No, but
That's
I'm
exact-
not saying what they need, but is he a Galactico?
I see.
They have to change their
Because
mindset.
they buy
The
Galacticos.
model,
That
it's
is
the
their
model,
model. They
innit?
need to get.
Lewandowski
No,
was the
but-
talk before, you know,
Yeah.
but apparently Bayern keep blocking the move, innit?
No,
For the last
but
2 years.
I think
And
that
Rashford is not a Galactico.
Nah, he's not. He's
No,
not
no,
even
but
close to
Martial
Galactico.
is a possible Galactico in terms of
I was
his,
gonna
his
say
profile.
Martial.
Yeah.
But no, but look,
Shoots.
but basically they have to change the very fact that they sold Perez sold because look, it's all Perez. He came up with the whole
Wasn't even
Galactico
Real
thing.
Madrid, it's Perez.
It's Perez,
Yeah,
basically.
Perez, yeah.
The fact that Perez sold Cristiano, didn't get anyone else. I feel that they're maybe going into a whole different mindset. The fact that they got to Lopetegui as well meant that, remember, I think them getting Lopetegui was that we want to copy the Barcelona, Spain mind frame. So I think that whole thing of Galactico, I think that's ended.
I
think
so. I don't think so.
Can I just ask any of our Spanish viewers, anyone who knows, what is Spanish for waste man? Because I want to know what Spanish for
Hola,
waste
hola.
man is.
What's the mouse? What's the mouse?
Lopetegui is a Spanish waste man. Let's move on. We've gone to Spain. We're going to go to France, PSG. Now, PSG have won every single game
13.
in the league.
13 out of 13.
Every
bro.
single
Do you know
game.
how stupid that's... Okay, no. So finish the question.
So my question to you
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
can they be stopped or can they feasibly win every game
Let me go first.
in the season?
Please.
I'll come to you, Matt.
I'll just make it short and sweet.
It's just, I
It
feel,
can't be stopped. It's over. Right off the
I
lead.
feel stupid asking the question.
Bro,
But
it's over. What's the... No, let's just all be real. Let's take a moment. Let's take a deep breath. PSG have won 13 out of 13.
Do you know how bloody stupid that is?
yeah.
Do you know...
Wait, 3 times
Listen,
3 is 9. 3 times 1 is...
who is their nearest competitors? Like, real talk.
Leo.
I think, no.
I don't even
Lille-
care.
no.
They're not
It's
winning.
Lille.
They
Leon,
sniped Leo, who was second.
Yeah,
they
they-
sniped them.
They're like 10 or 13 points ahead of
Well, that's
Lille.
good because they won 13 games and they're only 10 points behind.
I'm sorry. I don't even know why Neymar and Mbappe. Listen. They need to leave that league. I'm being
100%,
real.
1000%.
It's like them. It's training for them. There's no ambition. They're just playing for the money. They're too good for that league.
I wanna
real
put
talk.
a
I'm
pin. I
going
wanna
to
put a pin
make
there.
a very key point.
They will be stopped. I'm not saying they're going to win the league. That's but they're not going to go unbeaten. That's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Because first and foremost, going unbeaten is not easy. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
If it
No,
was
no.
easy,
It'll be them that will defeat themselves.
But look at Leon, who were the most successful in a period between 2001 and
Seven
2007.
in a row.
Seven in a row.
Yeah.
Which PSG have failed to do. They won 3 and then Monaco came in
Yeah.
and obviously they won last year. Leon got to a Champions League semi-final, which PSG, with all the money, they've failed to do as well. If Leon, over that period, couldn't go unbeaten in one of those 7 seasons, I can't see PSG.
But Leon didn't have Neymar.
But there were
ballers,
7
man.
years in a row, so that means their dominance
No, I hear
was
that.
more. I'm not saying they
But
were,
they're not as good as PSG. They're not as good as PSG.
I'm not saying they were better,
Yeah, go.
but they were more dominant over that period
Yeah.
than PSG have been since the money has come in. The fact that PSG were stopped and they haven't reached the Champions League semi-final.
Yeah.
Just looking at that, if Leon couldn't do it, I'm not putting my money on.
Okay.
PSG.
But basically, my thing is that can they be stopped? I mean, I don't even think that should even really be the main thing that we should really be discussing as to whether they can lose a game or not. I think the main thing is that there's a bigger situation here, which Matt touched upon. It's ridiculous. I've seen some of these League on games, and literally Neymar and Mbappe, they're sleepwalking through these games. And you know what the issue is? And this has always been the issue. How do you go from literally sleepwalking a game to playing in a Champions League game? And they've never been able to understand that. So they will always hit their head against a brick wall of like, man, we spent so much money. We've bought Neymar, we bought Ibrahimovic, because the contrast is too great of playing against a team that you put 5-6 past against a team who they know how to defend. They know all of your tricks and they're tactically much more astute. So that's why they will always. That's why when PSG play Liverpool, I'm not putting money on PSG to beat Liverpool in Paris. I'm not. Because
what?
this same issue will happen.
I watched highlights from one of their games earlier, like the other day. It was against Saint Etienne, and they didn't have Mbappe, they didn't have Neymar, they left him on the bench.
Yeah.
I don't even think they were in the squad. They brought in Draxler and they brought in Di Maria, and they won 4 or 5-0. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I think that you pick up on a good point. That could be what stops them in the Champions League. One of the questions I actually had was, do Neymar and Mbappe need to leave Ligue 1
100%.
to further their careers?
And also, let me make sorry. I mean, just to make, you see, when I was always behind Neymar leaving Barcelona,
Same.
because I said that you can't be Messi's bitch. And Neymar was Messi's bitch. I mean, again, sorry for any...
Griezmann came out and said that's the reason he didn't go
Very
Barcelona.
good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
Griezmann said the same thing. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. So I said, Neymar, leave, go to PSG, have your own team, be your own man and everything.
And then Mbappe runs up.
Mbappe
comes up.
It's a tag team up in
No,
there.
but
It's horrible. It's double
even
dragon
deeper than
up
that.
in
No,
there.
no, look, it's deeper because
Streets are rage.
because like Neymar is like, his attitude for me, it's what I didn't really think was going to happen, because I think things are so catered for him.
Yeah.
He's been so arrogant, so laissez-faire, and I think that has actually hindered him. Hence why he was supposed to be the next guy.
Yeah.
As of right now, we're supposed to talk about Neymar as the best player in the world.
Let me say.
So
Neymar is top 3 in the world.
Now.
No, Neymar is top 3 in the world.
I agree
Right
with
now,
that. I agree with that.
based on what?
The full stop ended at world. Forget that. Neymar is top 3 in the world.
No, he's not.
That's it.
As of right now, he's not.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah,
Let's see where he's going.
Neymar's career, for me, will be determined by what he does with Brazil. Because Neymar will be compared with Ronaldo, R9, in terms of what he contributes to Brazil. He'll be compared with Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, and Pele.
Yeah.
Now, his international record from when he was at Santos
It's nuts, bro.
and right through to now he's in PSG is ridiculous. And no matter what he does at Barcelona, what he's done at Barcelona, no matter what he does at PSG, he can win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. If he fails with Brazil, at least the Brazilians, if no one else, will look at him as a failure.
So what is failing then? So failing to win
Not
the
winning
World Cup.
Not winning the World Cup.
Yeah, 100%.
And he has to win a World Cup with Brazil, or whatever he does at club level. There's always going to be a caveat because of the history of where he's coming from. If he was Portuguese, or he was French, or he was Italian, that World Cup history, that international history is not the same. So I think that for me is what Neymar's aim is. And I watched him against Uruguay, and for me, I see more passion when he plays for Brazil
100%.
than when he plays for PSG. And I think he knows that's where, where
true,
his mind is at.
He throws in 4 roles rather than just 2. Yeah. So we're saying that they both need, because Mbappe obviously he's the next one up, isn't he?
It's like
Where do you go from PSG? Where does he?
Madrid. I think
is there anywhere else?
There's Bayern.
Bayern
And
can't
Bayern
afford
need
him.
players.
They can't afford
But
him.
Bayern
surely.
can't afford them.
But no, you know what? Okay, I don't know what the German word for grow the fuck up is, but like, you have to change your viewpoint, because for Bayern Munich, I'm sorry, I'm looking at guys who... Robin turns like 72 next week.
But he's still class, though.
Look, I told
I know what you
you,
mean.
Robin's my guy. I will never, ever...
I saw
No,
Robin the
Robin
other day running,
Robin's one of the
man,
greatest
and I
players
was
of the
like,
whole world. I don't care what anyone says. Robin,
Bro.
I defend that
yeah,
guy forever.
yeah.
He looked
I
like
will
he
never
was
accept his
traitor,
retirement.
fam.
Robin, when you retire, I will not accept your bloody retirement. It's bloody stay till your bloody 92. But my thing is this, is that they're too old. So I think that's as the point you're making, I think Mbappe and Neymar, they have to leave.
They have to.
I think that you're looking at whether it's Bayern, even an Atletico, even like a Barcelona or somewhere. There's a place you've got to open your horizons, man. You can't just have the same two clubs.
I get that. But this is looking at where I think they can go. I can't see Neymar going back to Barca unless
Messi
because obviously
retires and leaves.
and Messi retires and whatever, and the board as well, because he had a bit of a fraction thing with the board, and I think he's even going to court about that as well.
Oh yeah.
He's got a little
The
thing
way
with
the
board.
transfer went down.
So I can see him going to Real Madrid. I think there's a lot of talk of him wanting to go there anyway. The dad as well.
Exactly.
Yeah? Mbappe, what's so mad about him as well? I can see him at Real Madrid as well. It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like
He's a
you can
Real
just
Madrid
see
player.
certain
He is the
players and think
Galactica.
they're gonna
He's
go
the
there.
guy.
And you know Perez is they was talking this summer about Perez.
But that's why I
wanting-
think they were happy to let Ronaldo go, because I think they had
He knows
a feeling that
next
they could have
season-
got someone like
So
that.
trust me, if Real Madrid somehow gets Neymar and Mbappe, I know this sounds crazy, but let's just say something happens that they get both Neymar and Mbappe at the same time, that will completely swing And I think you will now see Real Madrid now become the new dominant force in La Liga.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
If
that happens.
Definitely.
Because when that happens,
and commercially
Messi will not-
worldwide.
Because
Yeah.
apparently UEFA have opened disciplinary proceedings again on PSG.
And Man City
And
by PSG.
apparently someone's tipped them off.
It's Real Madrid.
You
You
know
know it's Real Madrid.
It all makes sense.
Real
man.
Madrid.
Perez made the call.
You know what I'm saying?
The fax machine's working now.
Hola chicos, hola chicas.
Man's snitching out
That's
there.
what I'm
that's
saying.
my
So,
guy,
but
man.
Alright.
I can see them both at Real Madrid.
So-
Can I say what else
Yeah.
in terms of Mbappe? Like Neymar, I think as internationally would define his career. Mbappe's what 19, 20? I think might
He
finish.
turns 20 next
20,
month.
yeah.
So he's still 19.
Right.
So
Crazy.
so he could feasibly still stay at PSG for another 2 years without stalling his career, because the reality is at that age, as good as he is, he's world class right now.
Yeah.
As good as he is, you at that age, the most important thing is playing games.
Yeah.
So what you wouldn't
Good
want to
point,
do is
good
end up
point,
like
yeah.
what Dembele has gone
Yeah.
to Barcelona and he's for whatever reason he's not playing.
Yeah.
The worst
He
thing that
is
can
playing,
happen.
that's the problem.
Well, yeah.
Hey,
The worst
clever.
thing that can happen to Mbappe right now is that he goes somewhere and he's struggling to adapt or whatever, and then he's not playing no games.
Yeah.
So him staying at PSG for the next 2 years won't be the worst case.
Do you know how I just thought? Who else I could see Mbappe actually going to? Man City, you know. I can see it, you know.
You know what?
I know
I've
Pep
been
was looking at
thinking
it.
about
Yeah.
Well, how long
teams,
is Pep going to stay? Because I think Pep is gone in maybe the next
but does Pep
1-2
need to be
seasons.
there?
I
Pep
think
doesn't need to be.
I
there.
for
think-
Man City to buy.
Put it this way: if Pep is there, if Pep is at City in the next 2 years,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say at some point Mbappe joins him. You know.
Imagine
That's-
Mbappe,
That'd be cheating.
Sterling.
That'd be
If
cheating.
Mbappe goes to Man City
It's
and Pep's
over.
still there, someone needs to kidnap Pep.
It's over.
For the sake of
sure.
English football, he needs to be kidnapped. He needs to be
Man
no,
City
that'd be
become the
cheating. I won't
PSG,
allow it. I
and
won't
we
allow
are
it.
the
You
Leos.
see-
and-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bro.
You've
But
seen
it's
The
so-
Wire, right? Everyone's seen The Wire.
Yeah.
He needs to get got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, the last question I'm going to ask you before we wrap this up, just quickly. Staying with PSG, both Neymar and Mbappe picked up injuries in the international games midweek. Big game against Liverpool next week. They are questionable whether or not they will play in that game. Do we think Liverpool can go to Paris and take the 3 points?
Yes.
If Mbappe and Neymar aren't
Of
playing?
course.
Yes,
Like, even if they
100%.
are playing.
Yes.
Is this bravado or are you actually...
No, bro. Listen. I'm not gonna be bold and sit and go, we're gonna defeat them easy. No. I just think that we have a chance to beat them. Obviously, if they're missing, even a bigger chance. But people, this is the thing. People think expect us to get whacked up at Anfield. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, Neymar and Mbappe are gonna tear you
Yeah.
up." Even you were saying that. I think. Would you say
Yeah.
that? You even
No,
saying
no.
that?
Look.
You know, you did. You
No,
did.
look,
No,
I told you, that's why Neymar is not top 3. That is why Neymar is not top 3 because I
Because of one game against
no.
That is the defining moment.
No.
Nah.
What you do at
He's not top
Anfield.
3. He's
Let
not
Matt
top
finish.
3. He's
Let
not top
Matt
3.
finish.
Marcelo,
Let Matt finish.
Messi,
Hold on.
and
I'm
Hazard.
going to have to ask you to leave.
And remember, you even said it yourself. I think the reason why you're probably angry at Neymar is because
Pissed off.
yeah, and I tell you why he was. As you said, it's the intensity. Going from walking along in the French. Remember, they don't defend. If you watch carefully, Liverpool saw that. They saw when PSG have to defend, Mbappe and Neymar do not track back, and we exposed that.
Yeah.
We work the flanks. The thing is, obviously, at home, it's going to be slightly different. They will defend, I think, a little bit more, but they still, I think, they rely on their talent. They don't necessarily think, oh, we need to go back and, you know what I mean, dig in deep. They just rely on their talent. And I think that's where it could be their wrongdoing again. And that's why I feel like we will get something out of the game.
No.
Yeah, no, I'll leave you for last. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah.
PSG ain't losing that game. Liverpool. They,
Wait. With Neymar
You
and
say we
Mbappe?
are losing.
No,
PSG aren't losing that game.
Or aren't or are losing?
Are not losing that game. PSG will not lose.
Okay.
Now, apparently, I think Neymar's saying that he's going to be fit
I
anyway.
think he will be.
Okay.
Mbappe, I'm not even sure what his injury was, but Liverpool away at Red Star, away at Napoli. Both those 2 games, that especially the Red Star one, anyway, we
That was a
expected them to win. So Liverpool away in the Champions League can't even be trusted right now. That's the first thing. They can't be.
No,
That
but,
was
the,
off
but the
game.
good thing is they don't have Pavkov. So
No.
Liverpool
Wow.
in the
Legend. That guy's a legend. He's a
But-
legend. He's a legend.
For me, I called it at the beginning of the season. I said to you, there's 3 teams in this group who could go through, and all 3 of them could also go out. You writ off. You said Liverpool are going through, and here we are. Liverpool are second, and Liverpool need to either beat PSG away, or they have to beat Napoli by 2 goals at home.
Well, we'll do that.
Neither of them are certain, and for me, neither of them are gonna happen.
Okay.
You don't think we're going through?
Don't think
You don't think we're going through?
Liverpool go now.
We'll see you on Thursday, buddy.
No.
Okay. No.
Come back to me.
Yeah,
after.
you
Come back to me after.
You ordered the
You
pizza.
will meet have hope on Chelsea in the Europa League.
Easy,
No,
relax,
no,
relax,
no.
man.
Yeah,
Don't
go ahead.
bring Hazard into this.
Come back to me after, bro.
Now, PSG for me, PSG cannot be trusted. They keep on underwhelming me all the time. They keep on underwhelming me all the time, and I think the fact of the matter is this: is that even if Neymar and Mbappe play, I just think that tactically Liverpool can get at them. Belgrade is always. I'm not going to put.
Come on, that's a
I'm not
one-off.
okay. Look. I'm not going to put money.
one-off, innit?
I'm not going to put money on
What's
on
Napoli away?
PSG
Is that
to
one off
Belgrade.
as well?
No, but
That's
Napoli,
two off then.
No, but
no, we got
wait,
two off.
Wait, let me land.
No, but
Losing to
Napoli
Napoli
is
is-
a higher quality.
come on,
But we're
yeah.
just talking about Red Star.
No, but let me
real.
I'm not putting money on PSG to even get anything away at Belgrade. Napoli drew in Belgrade. That's a tough place to go to. Look, man. Okay, look, they sell rocket launchers there and everything. But my thing about it is that PSG's that defense, the way that they play, how to play out from the back. I think that now this is the key thing. I feel that Liverpool have to revert back to their last year's tactic. If they now go to the whole defensive, then PSG can now be on the ball. They have to really gegenpress, hit them, attack them. Because if they do that,
PSG can be got at, no doubt.
So for me, I don't. For me, you saying that PSG are not. Nah, man, you can't say
All right,
that.
let's.
Nah.
Well, Matt, you wanted to say something. We'll finish with you. You are the Liverpool
Yeah,
fan.
because
We'll finish
hold
with
on,
you.
you're trying to say we ain't gonna go through, yeah. Now this is
Which is
now,
big,
now
absolutely.
hear me out.
Go on.
Obviously, our Champions League away form has been definitely patchy because I'm not gonna lie, I expected at least a draw against Napoli, not to get beat. And Red Star for me that was a one-off because, as you said, bro, the guy at the front. It's flipping Michael Myers, bro. Like some random guy who literally
Pavkov.
cannot. I don't care what he does. He's so dead.
Sorry, I know
Let's
you want
pick
to
him.
but Matt, you're just saying Pavkov, but you played terrible. It wasn't just 2 wonder goals
I know.
and you lost. You played
I
terrible.
know when it hurt me, but what I'm
Okay,
trying to
okay,
say
just
is,
checking, innit?
what I'm trying to say,
And you were terrible away.
I
at
know,
Napoli as
bro,
well.
I know.
You didn't just lose to the last minute.
Listen, I hear you, but this is what I'm trying to say. I think because of the expectations from last season, I think everyone kind of expects us just to just go anywhere and just whoop
Win.
teams. Yeah. And it can't always be like that. You're going to have off days. And I think because we're playing a bit different as well, we're not playing the same kind of gung-ho football. So I think we're being a lot more cautious. I do think, though, against PSG, I've got a funny feeling we might revert back to the whole gegenpress and press high up the pitch and force mistakes, because I think Klopp knows if we just sit back and try and absorb pressure, we're going to get done for, because Verratti will open up any midfielder that we have on the pitch. I'll be real. He will give Henderson nightmares if he plays. He will give any one of them nightmares, because for me, Verratti is one of the best midfielders in world football.
Definitely. Yeah.
Talent-wise.
Quality.
Quality. So, and obviously Neymar and Mbappe doing their thing, and you can't sleep on Cavani because he just knows where he knows where the net is.
Actually,
so,
I am sleeping on it, but I'm snoozing it.
He's going to wake you up.
you wake up, but yeah, it's dangerous, bro. I still think we'll get something though.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Thank you, especially to Nix for coming down and
Thanks for having me,
being
man.
part of this,
Yo,
being part of this
thanks, man.
circus.
Thanks, bro.
And thank you for you guys for watching. And we'll be back again next week. Make sure that you subscribe, like this video, and share it with all your mates and their friends and their grandmothers. And we'll be seeing you again next week.